ice cap as an excellent example of snow fire rages below. We have reached the halfway point, and we're going to enjoy another cup of Jenny Byers' fabulous 4,000-mile coffee. Yes, thank you, Jenny. We're at flight level 290, and we're almost on the Arctic Circle, halfway across the Atlantic and halfway to Reykjavik. And you can bet it's cold outside. Look at that frost build up, while we ride in the comfortable, warm, pressurized cabin, and the outside air is minus 50. We have some weather reports that there's pretty heavy snow in Reykjavik. Fed disappears through the windshield, and we see some towering cumulus ahead, but we're not alarmed. We feel very comfortable as we head towards our nighttime landing in Reykjavik. Up this far, nearly at the Arctic Circle, there isn't very much daylight. In fact, this time of the year is only about 4 hours. That's the reason it never seems to get really bright. However, up at 29,000, things do look a little bit more cheerful. Soon we are in the overcast, and darkness will be upon us. We look forward to see Reykjavik, even though it is covered in 9 inches of snow. We spent a very pleasant evening in the hotel at Reykjavik, which is directly on the airport. In fact, we just landed, parked our airplane. Yes, there's no flying today in the flight school. We parked our airplane and walked over to the deep snow, still falling at that time, and spent a pleasant evening in the hotel, which is heated, as is all of the city of Reykjavik, by volcanic waters. And we look out the next morning, and we see our faithful commander being refueled for his final leg to England. We hurry from our room, race down these stairs, and soon we'll be on board. Yes, good friends, it was just as cold as it looked. However, the coldest place we found was Goose Bay. We climb out on our last leg of the trip, leaving Reykjavik, barely visible in the early morning dawn, about 10 a.m. We fly over more ice, climb through the overcast, break out into the sunset, and soon England will be ahead, and sound from another day. We break out of the clouds, completing our 670-mile flight from Reykjavik to Stornoway, and soon the English coast with the butt of Lewis, the approach to Pentland Firth, will be seen. A careful eye is kept on the pilots by both Jane and myself. We are studying the Greenwich meridian. Whether it's more coffee or prop alcohol. And Jane enjoys another cup of Ginny's 4,000-mile coffee. Yes, Sparrow, Rockwell, Orkneys, many other names from the past come to my mind. I spent many, many years across the North Atlantic on the surface, never thinking that one day I'd be up here with Fred and Bob and Jane looking down on the rough, tumultuous, wild seas of the North Atlantic. 1,000 feet, especially when it's still partially frozen from Goose Bay. Well, we just about completed the last leg. The Stornoway VOR is coming in strong, and we hear the clipped voices of the British controllers as we will soon make our last 400-mile leg down across England to Coventry. Those seas don't look too bad from 27,000 feet, but from the bridge of a freighter they look pretty bad. A final bit of navigation from our picture chart. A quick look out the window, and of course soon the butt of Lewis, which is the entrance to the Pentland Firth, will be seen. This might be interpreted as a sway in the Grand Saloon.
This is the BBC Ham Service. Here is the 9 o'clock news. The Navy aircraft today attacked targets in southern England. But 47 German planes were destroyed, but the loss of only 15 of our own aircraft. Help yourself, everybody. There's no fighter escort.
We received the crisp controller from Lancaster on 124.2, and we're on top of the overcast as we fly down towards Coventry. And we're on the ground at Coventry, England. We're taxiing in this beautiful little airport out in the lush green farmland of the area about 70 miles north of London. We are parked and meet Customs and Immigration, quickly cleared and inside for a spot of tea with Ron Webster, who is a good friend and pilot for Bob Berry. Only casualty of the trip, a frozen water canister, and that wasn't any problem. Bob and Fred start 81877 for the last part of its journey to the parking place on the Coventry Aerodrome. The 690B flew the Atlantic 4,000 miles in about 13 hours. It did it smoothly, perfect, and with super comfort. As Fred brings the two big turboprops to a stop and unloads the baggage, we feel a little remorse as we walk away from 81877 and head towards our new adventures in London. Yes, you must get used to driving on the left-hand side of the road, and those turnabouts and roundabouts will really get you. Bob stopped in to pick up a little petrol, and then on our night drive to our hotel in London. The Kenton House was our hotel in the suburbs of London in a section called Ealing, and we enjoyed our stay at this small 51-room hotel. It's just like home away from home. The hotel is in the suburbs near a resort area and a park called Hanger Hill. The hotel at this time is under some construction. As you will see, the beautiful gardens in the back are slightly disturbed. Temperature in London at this time was spring-like. There were leaves on the trees and the flowers were blooming. Our price of the room was about $26, which included a tremendous English breakfast, all you could eat. In fact, if you ate enough, it would last you all day. Construction work did create a few small problems for us and other residents. As we look down into the once beautiful backyard with a courtyard, we see construction, and some people's rooms were a little more difficult to reach. London in the skyline, and here's her exchange room. Steps on that, up the ladder, across the roof of the new dining room, and then it's just a quick hop into her nice room. A view from the room, looking out to the ladder, where she often assisted the carpenters and the masons as they plied their trade. And another treat is in store. We're going to take one more trip on 81877 into those skies over London, down to the Gatwick Airport, so stay with us. Yes, there's Jane's friend, O'Reilly. Within quite a few times to the open window to her bedroom.